What if the secret Koreans used to stay younger for decades has been hiding in their daily meals all along? Think about it. You can invest in skin care, try supplements, even push yourself to exercise more, and yet something still feels off. Your energy dips in the afternoon. Your skin doesn't glow the way it used to. Your body feels like it's working harder just to feel normal. Now here's the part most people never question. What if the real difference between aging faster and aging well isn't found in a product, but in a way of eating that has been quietly practiced for generations? Because there is one, and it's not complicated, it's not expensive, and it's definitely not new. It's hidden in something most people overlook every single day: food. But not just any food. A very specific way of choosing, preparing, and combining foods that quietly support the body from the inside out. In Korea, food was never just about taste. It was about balance, about protecting the body before problems even appear, about feeding your cells in a way that keeps them younger longer. And here's the surprising part. Many of the foods behind that kind of longevity are incredibly simple. Not expensive, not complicated, but deeply intentional. Today, I'm going to show you 10 Korean superfoods that have been quietly supporting youth, energy, and longevity for generations, and that modern science is now starting to understand. Some of them might surprise you. Number 3 is something most people completely ignore. And number 10 might completely change the way you think about aging itself. But more importantly, you'll start to see how small, consistent choices can reshape how your body feels, not just today, but years from now. So if you're someone who doesn't just want to look younger, but actually feel stronger, clearer, and more alive as time goes on, make sure you're subscribed. Because this isn't about trends. This is about understanding what your body has needed all along. Now, let's start with something that most people overlook. But that might be one of the simplest ways to begin supporting your body at a deeper level. Number 1. Seaweed, the ocean mineral shield. Most people look at seaweed and think of it as just a side dish, something light, optional, almost decorative. But that perception couldn't be more misleading. In Korean culture, seaweed isn't an extra, it's a foundation. It's one of the first foods given after childbirth, one of the most consistent elements in everyday meals, and one of the simplest ways they nourish the body at a cellular level. Now here's where it gets interesting. Seaweed is one of the most mineral-dense foods on the planet. It's rich in iodine, which supports your thyroid, the gland responsible for regulating your metabolism, your energy, even your mood. But it goes further. It contains a compound called fucoxanthin, a powerful antioxidant that helps reduce inflammation and supports fat metabolism at the same time. In simple terms, it helps your body stay efficient, balanced, less inflamed, and more energized. And unlike many modern superfoods, this isn't something exotic or hard to use. You can add seaweed to soups. Wrap it around rice, sprinkle dried flakes over your meals, or even snack on it roasted. Small amounts. Consistently, that's the key, because the real power of foods like this isn't intensity, it's repetition. And over time, that repetition becomes protection. Seaweed doesn't just feed your body, it quietly shields it from within. Number 2, Korean pear. The hydration fruit that heals from within. At first glance, it just looks like a fruit. Sweet, juicy, refreshing, nothing special, right? That's exactly why most people underestimate it. In Korea, the pear isn't just eaten for taste. It's used with intention. For centuries, it has been part of traditional remedies for digestion, respiratory health, and even recovery after meals. And once you understand what's inside it, that starts to make sense. Korean pears are incredibly high in water content, but not just hydration in the way you think. They help your body absorb and use that hydration more effectively, which directly impacts your skin, your energy, and even how your body processes toxins. But here's where it gets even more interesting. They contain natural enzymes that support digestion and compounds that help the liver break down toxins more efficiently. In simple terms, they help your body clean itself gently, consistently, without overload. That's why traditionally Korean pear juice is often used after heavy meals or even after alcohol to support recovery. And no, you don't need to do anything complicated. You can eat it fresh, blend it into a juice, or even use it in marinades the way Korean cuisine often does. Simple, accessible, effective. Because sometimes what your body needs isn't more stimulation, it's better support. The Korean pear doesn't just hydrate you, and it helps your body restore itself from the inside out. Number 3. Perilla leaves, the forgotten anti-inflammatory leaf. This is one of those foods that, once you discover, you start wondering why no one ever told you about it. Perilla leaves are widely used in Korean cuisine, wrapped around rice, meats, vegetables, almost like a natural living plate. But outside of Asia, most people have never even heard of them, and that's a missed opportunity. Because these leaves are incredibly rich in plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, something your body needs to fight inflammation, protect your brain, and maintain healthy skin over time. Now here's the important part. Most people associate omega-3 with fish, but perilla offers a plant-based source that supports similar pathways in the body, especially when consumed consistently. And inflammation, even when you don't feel it, is one of the biggest drivers of accelerated aging. It affects your energy, your joints, your digestion, even how your skin looks and heals. So when a simple leaf starts reducing that background inflammation, you're not just eating healthy, you're changing how your body ages, and it doesn't require a complex routine. You can use perilla leaves as wraps, add them to salads, or even lightly sauté them fresh. Simple, functional. Because sometimes longevity isn't about adding more. It's about removing the silent stress your body carries every day. Perilla leaves don't just nourish you, they quiet the inflammation that slowly wears you down. Number 4. Doenjang, the gut reset paste. At first, it doesn't look impressive. It's thick, dark, strong in flavor, and for many people that's enough to avoid it. But that reaction says more about what we've forgotten than what this food actually is. Doenjang is a traditional Korean fermented soybean paste, and it has been part of daily meals for centuries, not occasionally, not as a trend, daily. And that matters, because fermentation transforms food into something entirely different. When soybeans are fermented over time, they develop beneficial bacteria, the kind that directly support your gut microbiome. Now, why does that matter for aging? Because your gut isn't just about digestion, it's deeply connected to your immune system, your brain, your energy levels, even your mood. A disrupted gut can lead to chronic inflammation, poor nutrient absorption, and fatigue. But when your gut is balanced, everything starts working with you again, and that's exactly what foods like doenjang help restore. Studies have shown that fermented soybean products can support microbial diversity in the gut, reduce inflammatory markers, and even improve metabolic health. In simple terms, they help your body process life more efficiently, and using it is easier than you think. You can add it to soups, mix it into sauces, or use it as a base for broths. A small spoon is enough because, again, this isn't about intensity, it's about consistency. Doenjang doesn't just feed your gut, it rebuilds the foundation your entire body depends on. Number 5. Korean sweet potato, the carb that slows aging. For years, people have been told to fear carbohydrates, avoid them, cut them, replace them, as if all carbs were the same, but that idea ignores something fundamental. Not all carbohydrates age your body, some actually protect it, and Korean sweet potatoes are a perfect example. In Korea, they're not treated as a cheat food. They're a staple, simple, filling, naturally sweet, and deeply nourishing. Now here's why. Korean sweet potatoes are rich in fiber, especially a type that supports your gut bacteria. And as you've seen before, your gut is directly connected to how your body ages, but it doesn't stop there. They're also packed with antioxidants like beta-carotene, which helps protect your cells from oxidative stress, one of the main drivers of aging. And unlike refined carbs, they release energy slowly. No spikes, no crashes, no sudden drops that leave you feeling drained a few hours later. Instead, they give your body something most people are missing today: stability, steady energy, better digestion, less inflammation, and that changes everything. Because when your body isn't constantly reacting, it can finally start repairing. Using them is as simple as it gets: roasted, steamed, even as a quick snack during the day. No complexity, no confusion, just real food, doing what it was always meant to do. Korean sweet potatoes don't spike your system. They stabilize it, and that's what keeps you younger longer. Number 6. Gochujang. The metabolism igniter. Most people see it as just a spicy sauce, something to add flavor, a little heat, nothing more. But that's a very limited way of looking at it. Gochujang, the traditional Korean fermented chili paste, does more than enhance taste. It activates your body. The key lies in one compound, capsaicin. This is what gives chili peppers their heat, but also what stimulates your metabolism at a deeper level. Capsaicin has been shown to help increase calorie burn, support fat oxidation, and even regulate appetite. But here's what most people miss. It's not about turning your body into a fat-burning machine overnight. It's about creating subtle, consistent activation. A body that's slightly more efficient every day, burns better, processes better, recovers better. And that has a long-term impact. Because a sluggish metabolism doesn't just affect weight, it affects energy, hormone balance, and how your body ages over time. Now add something else into the equation: fermentation. Just like doenjang, gochujang goes through a natural fermentation process, which means it also supports your gut health. So you're getting a dual effect: metabolic activation, plus microbial support. Simple, but powerful. And using it? Easy. Mix it into sauces, add it to bowls. Use it as a base for marinades. A small amount goes a long way. Because again, it's not about intensity. It's about rhythm. Gochujang doesn't just add heat to your food. It quietly turns your metabolism back on. Number 7. Kimchi. The living food that protects your cells. You've probably heard of kimchi. Maybe you've even tried it. Fermented cabbage. Strong smell. Intense flavor. For many people, that's where the story ends. But that's just the surface. Kimchi isn't just food, it's alive. And that single detail changes everything. During fermentation, kimchi develops a wide range of beneficial bacteria, probiotics that directly interact with your gut. And as you've seen, your gut is not just about digestion. It influences your immune system, your brain function, your inflammation levels, even how your skin ages over time. Now imagine feeding that system daily with something that actively supports it. That's what kimchi does. Studies have shown that regular consumption of fermented foods like kimchi can help reduce chronic inflammation, improve gut diversity, and support metabolic health. In simple terms, it helps your body stay in balance. And balance is what slows aging. But there's something deeper here. Because kimchi isn't consumed occasionally in Korea, it's part of almost every meal, small portions, every day, and that consistency is what creates the effect. You don't need large amounts, you don't need complexity, just a small serving alongside your meals. And over time, your body starts responding. Better digestion, more stable energy, less internal stress. Kimchi isn't just something you eat. It's something that keeps working inside you, long after the meal is over. Number 8. Green tea. The silent brain protector. Most people drink green tea for one reason: to relax, maybe to feel a little lighter, a little calmer. And that's true, but it's also incomplete because green tea isn't just calming your mind, it's protecting it. In Korean culture, tea isn't rushed. It's a ritual, slower, intentional, almost like a pause in the middle of the day. And that pause matters more than it seems. But beyond the ritual, there's something happening at a biological level. Green tea is rich in a compound called EGCG, a powerful antioxidant that has been studied for its effects on brain health. It helps reduce oxidative stress, protect neurons, and support cognitive function over time. In simple terms, it helps your brain age more slowly, and when your brain stays sharp, everything else follows. Your decisions improve, your mood stabilizes, your energy becomes more consistent. But here's what makes green tea unique. It doesn't stimulate you like coffee. It works differently. There's a compound called L-theanine, which promotes a state of calm focus. So instead of spikes and crashes, you get clarity, sustained attention, a quieter, more stable mind. And that kind of internal environment is what allows your body to function at its best. Using it is simple. 1 cup in the morning, another in the afternoon. No excess, no force, just rhythm. Green tea doesn't just calm you. It quietly protects the way you think, feel, and age. Number 9. Black garlic. The anti-aging upgrade of garlic. At first it sounds strange. Garlic, but black, soft, slightly sweet, almost caramelized. It doesn't even taste like regular garlic, and that's exactly the point, because black garlic isn't a different plant. It's what happens when garlic goes through a slow, controlled aging process. Time, heat, and patience. And during that process, something powerful happens. The compounds inside garlic become more concentrated, more stable, and significantly more potent. One of the key transformations is the increase in antioxidants, especially a compound called S-allylcysteine. Now, why does that matter? Because antioxidants are what help protect your cells from oxidative stress, the kind of damage that builds up over time and accelerates aging, skin aging, cellular damage, fatigue, even cognitive decline. It all connects back to how well your body can defend itself, and black garlic strengthens that defense. Studies have shown it can support cardiovascular health, reduce inflammation, and help regulate blood sugar levels. In simple terms, it helps your body stay resilient, and resilience is what keeps you young. But here's the best part. You don't need a lot. 1 or 2 cloves a day, added to meals or eaten directly, is enough to start creating that protective effect. Because again, it's not about extremes, it's about what you do consistently. Black garlic isn't just stronger garlic, it's time transformed into protection. Number 10. Ginseng, the root that reprograms your energy. If there's one ingredient that represents longevity in Korean culture, it's this. Ginseng isn't new, it isn't trendy, and it definitely isn't accidental. It has been used for thousands of years, not just as food, but as a form of deep nourishment for the body and mind. And now, modern science is finally catching up. Ginseng is what we call an adaptogen, which means it doesn't just stimulate your body. It helps your body adapt to stress, to fatigue, to pressure. Instead of pushing your system harder, it helps regulate it. Now think about that, because one of the biggest accelerators of aging today is stress. Chronic, silent, constant stress. It drains your energy, disrupts your hormones, affects your sleep, and over time, it wears your body down from the inside. Ginseng works differently. It helps balance cortisol levels, supports energy production at the cellular level, and improves mental clarity without creating dependency. In simple terms, it gives you energy without stealing from your future, and that's rare. Studies have also shown its potential to support immune function, enhance cognitive performance, and even improve physical endurance. But here's what makes it truly powerful. It doesn't act like a quick fix. It builds over time, tea, powder, extract, small amounts, consistently. And slowly, your baseline changes. More stable energy, better focus, greater resilience. Ginseng doesn't just give you energy, it teaches your body how to sustain it. Now step back for a moment and look at what you just saw. These aren't miracle foods. They're not shortcuts. They're not hacks. They're patterns. Simple choices, repeated daily, that quietly shape how the body functions over time. And that's the part most people miss. Longevity isn't built in extremes. It's built in rhythm. A little fermentation here, a little mineral support there, a steady source of antioxidants, balanced energy, reduced inflammation, nothing dramatic. But together, everything changes because your body doesn't need perfection. It needs support, consistent, intentional, aligned support. And maybe the biggest shift isn't even in the foods themselves, but in how you start seeing them, not as calories, not as restrictions, but as signals, information, instructions your body uses to decide, how well am I going to function today? And how well am I going to age over time? It was never about doing more. It was about choosing better, consistently. So now the question becomes simple. What are you going to start with? You don't need to change everything overnight. You don't need a perfect routine. Just one shift, one new habit, one better choice repeated daily. Because that's how real transformation happens. Quietly, gradually, but powerfully. And here's the truth most people overlook. These foods were never hidden from you. They were always there. You just weren't looking at them this way. If this video gave you a new perspective, take a second to like it. It helps more than you think. And tell me in the comments, which of these foods are you already using? And which one are you curious to try first? And if you want more content like this, simple, powerful, science-backed ways to support your body, make sure you subscribe, because your body is always listening to what you give it. The question is, what are you telling it every day?